Yes guys, welcome back to a brand new video. So I have been fortunate enough for L-Style to send me some of their product. L-Style have sent me a load of stuff to review and I've put together a few setups just to test out and show you some different variations that you can use in your L-Style setups and what those setups mean for you as a darts player. So if you don't know what L-Style are, they are a plastic molded flight and stem and they feature these caps as you can see here. And the idea of these is to prevent Robin Hoods, so if I put my dart down there, it should just glide over the shaft. And you can get different variations of these caps as well. So in these, I actually have just some plastic caps. You can also get metal ones, which are more protective. You can get back weighted ones, which are metal caps which have a little bit more weight to them. So if you want your darts to sit more downwards, or you just want a bit more weight at the rear of your dart, you can do that as well. The other thing as well with L-Style is they feature these stems which have little ridges on them to protect the bottom edge of the flight. So if your dart comes in and hits your flight, effectively what happens is the ridge just comes off the flight and it just protects that flight and reduces a lot of the first initial impact from when your dart hits the board. You can however use L-Style flights on any traditional nylon shaft. They do click into place quite nicely. They're not overly thick, so they will fit into them without damaging them. What we're going to do is actually create a few different sort of setups and just show you how different setups can perform on the board, and then also just explain how these can help your game overall and just how you can find the perfect flight and stem combination for you and how L-Style might be able to help that out. Okay guys, so we're actually going to start off with a combination which is pretty out there, I would say. So I've got my custom darts and I've set them up with these really small L-Style versions. But yeah, this is the set I'm going to run with to start off with. So we have a long shaft and a small flight. Now what this does is it helps your darts to sit down in the board or lay a little bit more flat. So if I throw my initial one, it's stood a little bit upright, but not overly upright, nice and flat. What that helps me to do when I sit my darts underneath is just to try and fit some darts over the top. Now I can't do it there, but they are nice and flat. The one thing I will say is using the longer shafts means that I can still block off the treble. So if you're someone who traditionally throws darts a little bit below the treble like I do, a smaller flight might help you sit the dart down so you can stack your darts into the treble. Now you will get that from a smaller flight, and now these flights from L-Style are probably the smallest flights in terms of their surface area that I've ever seen. And there's one in the treble, there's one nice and flat, and there's one that's kicked to the side. Now the other thing I will say is that first dart there is when you lose surface area on your flight, you're going to lose drag. Now what happens with that is your flight will not stabilize as quickly in the air. So if you don't throw a pure dart with pure technique, usually if you don't throw very hard, your dart will find it very difficult to self-correct in the air. So just be mindful of that. If you don't have the best of techniques or you want a little bit more give, something a little bit bigger will help you out. Now talking of extra surface area and extra give and stability, we're going to change our flights and show you something a little bit different. So this is a set of L-Style L1 shape, which is the standard shape flight. These are Dimples. These are also in the easy variation, so I don't actually need the extra cap to place onto the flight. Now, if I show you this up close, as you can see, the flight has all these dimples on them. Now what that does is it creates a golf ball style effect. Now if you don't know how golf balls work, effectively, they have these dimples to create extra surface area. If you've ever seen someone throw darts from behind, you will see that the dart wobbles in the air, but eventually it will sort of straighten itself out. Now, having this extra surface area creates more drag, which means it will be quicker to self-correct itself in the air. That's what these dimples achieve. Traditionally, you'll see dimple flights in a slightly smaller shape because what will happen is this extra drag with a big flight produces too much drag and your darts will fly too slow through the air. So the shafts we're going to use on these are actually the L-Style carbon. These are in short. So the carbon shafts are basically more durable and they're also a lot lighter as well. So they create a lighter setup. So if you don't want as heavy of a setup, obviously the carbon flights will help that. So as you can see, carbon flight, L-Style dimple shaft. That just goes in there, and as you might be able to see, I'm going to try and get the light on it. The shaft goes into that easy cap, and you just push it down, and it creates a nice little secure cap which will prevent Robin Hoods. Pretty straight. Now the first thing I've noticed straight away is they take a lot of effort to get to the board. Basically, as soon as I let them go from my hand, they kind of lose all of their momentum because the drag that is enacted on the dart is also slowing them down. So a bigger flight with more surface area, and the more surface area you get with the dimples, as I said, enacts more drag, and that means it will slow your dart right down. So you need a pretty powerful throw to be able to throw these dimple darts, or you need a throw which is very loopy and goes very high. Now this is probably too much drag for me, but as I said, some people who throw a bit harder, this might be more beneficial for them. But I'm definitely noticing that extra stability in the air. It's also causing the darts to start dipping down earlier, which means I get that nice high tail entry. As you can see, the darts are standing up really nicely. So if you can get one to go above the treble, so if it lands something like that, I've noticed a cut because I missed the previous shot. In theory, I should just be able to crash off that barrel and find a treble. Now, unfortunately, I dropped into the treble 5 there, but you understand the theory. Okay, so we've actually attached the L-style Fantom flights. Now you can see these are pretty clear. These are actually very similar to what we now see on the all-in-one flight and stem systems. So they are, as you can see, and probably here, they are pretty rigid. Now what I've actually done with these is I've fitted them onto the spinner shafts. Now the reason I've fitted them to the spinner shafts is because the spinning mechanism, in theory, again, in theory, if you come in and hit the flight, it should just move out of the way and spin like so. Now obviously with a more rigid flight like the Fantoms, you may need a little bit more give somewhere else in your setup, and you can get that from the spinners. So we'll test these out and see how they fly, see how badly the deflections are if I can group my darts as well. So one thing you will see, so there you go, the deflections weren't too bad there, they're obviously all in the 5, but they weren't too bad. Now the one thing you'll see with these spinners is I actually have a Win More Whisper system which wobbles a little bit when the darts hit the board. You will see the darts continue to spin after they hit the board. Now that generally doesn't happen when you have a more solid board, I suppose. Another one there deflected off both sets of flights and it still remained pretty straight. So the spinners are obviously doing their job. You could use a more rigid shaft if you wanted to, the locked shaft, which I used before. If you wanted to really crash off those flights and create a really good marker to go off, and again, hit the flight and didn't really deflect too far out of the way. That is it, a little bit of a showcase into the L-style flight and stem setup. I'm actually going to be taking you through some more of these over on my TikTok, so if you don't know or don't follow me on TikTok, I'll leave the link to that in the description down below. Once again, a huge thank you to L-style for sending me out these products to test out and review. It's much, much appreciated. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel and you want to see more darts content, don't forget to click the subscribe button down below. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like because it helps push this video out to more people that aren't subscribed to my channel, and comment down below what you want to see from me next. Any questions you have on the L-style products or anything else you want to see me do with the L-style setups, let me know in the comments as well. That's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.